Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello everybody.
We've got a couple of matches to report on with a distinctly commercial edge to them, haven't we,
We
mate?
certainly have. We've stepped into our little time of year when we do a bit of commercial fishing, haven't we? And we just,
Absolutely.
even though we're sat next to the Warwickshire Haven at the minute,
We've just enjoyed some very, very nice food, haven't we?
fine dining at a place known as the Saxon Mill on the banks of the Warwickshire Haven.
And we can't fish there, but that don't mean that we can't look at it and admire all the chubby looking pegs, barbel hot spots, roach runs, dace runs, occasional bleak topping, and be dreaming of June the 16th and river fishing.
But we've actually been to Tunnel Barn Farm today.
We have. And how was it for you, mate?
It wasn't very good, you know, for me. I don't think I did very well.
What happened?
I caught £66 something,
Yeah.
which is a nice day's fishing, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, as I always do when I go fishing. But I don't think I fished right. I tried to catch a lot of fish short, you know, like the venue locals do there, and it didn't really work at all. With like 2 hours to go of the match, you know, fishing down the edges on the short pole, had a little go shallow, messed about a lot, to be honest. And it's always, I always find on a commercial, if you do too much, you sort of shoot yourself in the foot and end up going nowhere. So I gave myself a slap with about 2 hours to go and just fished across and ended up catching really well. I'd probably caught 45, 50 pound in the last couple of hours, and it was alright. I got bashed up on the next peg though off your mate Lee Wright.
Bless him. He's
Yes.
alright.
We had quite a close little battle all the way through, and if we were both in contention for winning match, it'd have been brilliant, but we won. I had £66, he had £70.
And what won your section?
£71, I think, so I wasn't far off, but never mind. And well done to Jimmy Brooks on winning my lake with £95. He were opposite me, and all day he kept taking his top off, winking at me, and then when sun went and he'd put it back on.
Really?
And then when it come out, he'd take it off again.
Really?
Yeah, I think Lee Wright were getting a little bit excited.
Was he? There's a few like that, a few
Yeah.
pretty boys, isn't there? Like Aidan Mansfield has weighed me. I actually said to Aidan Mansfield, I think he's the best looking man to weigh me in this year.
Probably is.
I really, really do.
Hey, that's enough of my day. How was your day?
My day was good, mate. Really, really enjoyable. I drew, I think I was pegged 45 on high pool, should I say? High pool.
Yeah.
And I quite fancied it, to be fair.
Yeah.
It was tightly pegged. I got Matt Parkin. To be fair, it was tightly pegged to the lake. Where I got a spare peg to my left, then Matt Parkin.
Yeah.
And to my right, I got Ronnie Biggs.
Yeah.
Who was a venue regular, does really, really well.
Nice bloke and all in here.
Lovely bloke. Does really well at Tunnel Barn, he does.
Yeah.
And both of them said at the start they were just going to fish short. And there was just a little thing in my head that thought, if they're going to fish short, I'm going to fish long. Especially because it was so tightly pegged. Now, to reach the island on that peg, you've got to go a full 16 metres. So that's like your normal 16 metres plus a dolly butt to make up for the bit you chop off the other end. And I decided to fish worm slop over there. A little bit of chop worm, a little bit of super cushy expander ground bait, a few casters, a few 4mm pellets mixed in with it into a nice sort of slop. And it's worked really well. I've just caught the odd fish all day. I've never really had a mad run of better fish. I probably ended up with about 100 fish. But it's quite a long way to ship them back, as you know.
You've been busy there, haven't you?
I have been busy. But luckily, it was enough to win my section by default.
Fantastic.
John Arthur won my section from round the corner. Just to win my section by default and come 6th on the match to pay 6th in the Super Pool. Oh no, I think I was 7th in the match, but I got the 6th Super Pool because
What did you weigh?
they do it like £88.12.
Fantastic day's fishing.
Lovely day's fishing. Nice little pick up, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to the dreaded Knockout Cup on Friday.
Me also.
When we've got round 1 at Tunnel Barn Farm. But we do need to recap on something that we haven't covered as yet. We need to recap on the Preston Innovations. Ex-Camazan. Preston Innovations, Matchman of the Year final, Woodland View Fishery at Droit, which, Matt, you did rather well.
I had a good match, mate. I drew a very good peg. It was actually, we got back from Holland, as you know, we did a little blog when we got back. Got back from Holland on the Friday about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I had to go to Woodland's View Fishery for that match on Saturday. So it was Vaughan Canal feeder fishing bream to Woodland's View carp on pellets, all within the space of 24 hours. But it was quite good. I drew peg, I can't remember the peg, I think it were 18 on Arles.
Arles.
Arles, on Arles pool. and I had great company, you know.
Did you?
Yes. Well, it was because there's a little corner, and I was this
yes.
side of the corner.
Yes.
The other side of the corner is a chap who is pretty well known in commercial fishing. He's won an odd knock-up, you could say, Mr.
Yeah.
Jamie Hughes.
So let me guess, right? You're in this corner here, and Jamie's here.
Yes. So it
I
must
think I know why he beat you.
go on.
Bet there were a load of women behind you, weren't they, watching him all day? They have to
Watching
stand
me
behind
all day?
to see him. No, they have to stand behind you to watch Jamie.
No, they were watching me, mate. Honestly, I
Nah.
couldn't shit back at one point. Nickers clogged me roller up. There were that many of them
You're
on
kidding.
it. Honestly, I'm telling you now. But to cut a long story short, we had a brilliant day, and I can't say how much respect I got for Jamie because he never shut up all day. You know, it's a serious match, especially for £1,000. But we had some great banter. We talked all day. He had people behind him chatting and stuff as well. But he did really well. He had £178, I think he had, something like that. Caught some big carp mugging him, a few short on pellets, and then some down the edge late on. And I had £156, which wasn't quite enough to keep up with him, but it was enough for second and a nice little pick up. But I had a little blank spell in the middle of the match. Well, I say a little one for about an hour. It didn't quite go right for me. There were a bit of wind got up, blowing away from me, and I couldn't catch any more of these big fish that were cruising about on top. And I reckon that hour, I should have probably done something a little bit different in that hour. Like rather than trying to keep catching an odd mugging fish, I should have probably tried to catch a few more short or done something different.
I know what you mean, but you've won 500 quid. You come second in one of the most prestigious finals of the calendar. And to be beat by Jamie at that kind of fishing, mate, is no disgrace, especially when you've just spent a week doing something else. So I think it's a big well done, that.
Oh, thank you, mate.
I'm nice like that sometimes, honestly.
And that's it, innit? We've
yeah.
got a busy week ahead. We've got Stephen McCabe from Dower coming to stop with us this week.
He's staying with us this week. We're going to be entertaining him. Then on Wednesday, we've got the David Orr Memorial match.
The Glebe Fishery, so that should be a prolific one.
We're looking forward to that. And then on Friday, round one of the Drennan. So.
And hopefully a little bit of drop shotting in between.
Oh yes, we've got time for
Fancy
that.
that.
Definitely.
Should we go and have an hour tonight?
We could do. We could even do that, couldn't we?
Yeah.
So we'll update you on how we get on next week.
Have a good week.